The Galactic Council gathered in silence. Lights dimmed. The giant circular room was filled with whispers and tension. A decision had to be made, and it wasn't easy. Across the galaxy, crime was rising. No prison planet was safe anymore. The worst criminals, murderers, warlords, raiders were escaping every month. One alien commander stood and spoke in a cold voice. "There is one world," he said. "Unwatched, abandoned, no role in the council. Let us use it." A hologram appeared in the center of the chamber. It showed a blue and green planet. "Earth? Earth?" one of the elders asked. "It is primitive. Too wild." "Exactly," the commander replied. "No space travel, no allies, no contact, a perfect dumping ground." And so the vote passed. The galaxy's most dangerous criminals, prisoners from 20 species, would be exiled to Earth. They told. No one, no warnings, no messages to Earth. The first wave of criminals was loaded into transport pods chained, sedated, sealed and sent into space. The council watched the screens as the pods entered Earth's atmosphere, high above Earth. 20 black pods fell like meteors, glowing red with heat. They screamed through the sky, headed for random locations. One crashed into a frozen forest. Another slammed into a desert. One landed silently near the Pacific Ocean. Humans saw them as shooting stars. Beautiful, glowing, harmless they were. Wrong in Alaska, a lonely trapper named Leo was fixing his cabin roof. He saw the sky flash, then a thunderous boom. Trees shook. Animals ran. The crash echoed through the valley. He dropped his hammer and grabbed his rifle. What the hell was that? He whispered. Leo followed the smoke trail to the crash site. He moved quietly through the trees, boots crunching in snow. What he saw made him freeze. A black pod, as big as a truck, half buried in the earth. It hissed and steamed. Metal glowed. Strange alien symbols were burned onto the side. Leo raised his rifle as the pod opened with a sharp hiss. Inside was a creature 8 feet tall, covered in armor and scars. Its eyes glowed yellow. Chains fell from its arms. It stepped out and smiled. In Brazil, 2 criminals from the Fireblood gang crawled from their pods. They killed a local farmer, took his house, and used his tech to contact others. "This world is soft," one of them said. "No defense, no satellites, no patrols. We'll rule it in a week." They had no idea what was watching them. In orbit, a forgotten satellite blinked to life. Its name, Sentinel-9. Built by an old Earth military project, it was left to sleep in silence. But the arrival of alien signals triggered it. It scanned the atmosphere, detected 20 unknown objects, classified them as threat level red. It activated Protocol 13, Planetary Intrusion Response. Deep underground, in a bunker buried beneath Colorado mountains, an AI woke up. Its voice echoed in the silence. "Unauthorized entry detected. Begin scan. Notify command status. Invasion risk high." But there was no command left. The bunker was abandoned. The AI had no leaders anymore, so it followed its last order: protect Earth. It sent out a silent signal, one that only a few old systems could hear. Back in Alaska, Leo backed away as the alien scanned the trees. Suddenly, the ground shook. Another pod landed just a mile away. Another criminal stepped out, this one with 4 arms and razor-sharp claws. The 2 creatures met, laughed in their strange tone, and looked around. "This planet will be fun," one said. They didn't know that a drone shaped like a bird was recording everything above them. It was an old human prototype, built for war forgotten, but still active. The drone zoomed in, scanned their faces, and sent a message back to the bunker. Targets confirmed. ID matched. Level 10 prisoners. Code black. The drone armed itself quietly. Back in the council chamber, the aliens watched from afar. They smiled. No alarms. No alerts. Earth was perfect. No response. No power. No space defense. We did it, said the commander. No one will miss them, and no one will blame us. But none of them saw what Earth was already preparing. They had dumped monsters onto the wrong world. A world full of survivors. A world with its own secrets. And now, something ancient had been reactivated, and it had no mercy. Asterisk the alien criminal. Known as Crag opened his eyes inside the dark forest. Snow covered the ground. His thick armor hissed as it adjusted to the cold. He stretched his arms, snapping the chains that once held him in prison for 80 years. He looked around with a deep growl. Where are the guards? He muttered. No patrol? No drones? The forest was silent. Only wind and birds. Crag smiled. Freedom, he said. But he wasn't alone. In another part of Earth. 6 pods had landed across 3 continents. Inside them were the worst criminals the galaxy had ever known, killers, warlords, smugglers, and deserters. One of them, a 4-eyed creature named Voltic, stood over a human village in Southeast Asia. Smoke rose behind him. Buildings burned. People ran. His claws were bloody. This planet is weak, Voltic said, licking his teeth. I'll build my empire here. But high above him, a faint light moved across the sky. It was Sentinel-9, Earth's hidden satellite, silently watching. And behind a hill, a camera hidden in a rock blinked red. Meanwhile, Crag made his way through the frozen forest. He didn't know where he was, but he was happy to breathe air without poison. This world reminded him of his home planet. Before it was destroyed, he found a human cabin, small, quiet, smoke rising from the chimney. He approached. Inside, Leo sat with a shotgun in his hands. He had seen the alien from a distance. He didn't know what it was, but he had seen its face, cruel, scarred, laughing. He wasn't going to wait. The door opened with a slow creak. The alien stepped in. Leo fired. The blast hit Crag's shoulder. The alien snarled in pain and fell back into the snow. Leo didn't chase. He closed the door, locked it, and whispered, "This is no damn meteor storm." Far away, in a desert in Australia, 2 criminals climbed out of their pods. They had sharp bones sticking from their backs and talked in clicks and growls. They killed a group of campers for supplies, laughing like it was a game. But in the distance, a strange hum echoed. It came from an old military vehicle, paint peeling, tires old but still running. A human stepped out. She wore dusty armor. Her face was scarred, her eyes hidden behind glasses, and on her chest, a faded symbol, Project Earthguard. She didn't speak. She just lifted her weapon and fired. One of the aliens screamed as it exploded into pieces. The other ran. But he didn't get far. Back in the bunker deep under Colorado, the old AI scanned data. 6 confirmed alien threats neutralized. Response units. Awakening Phase 2. It sent encrypted signals to hidden facilities across the planet, long-lost Black Ops bases. Underground labs. Weapon vaults sealed since the last war. Steel doors opened after 30 years. Lights turned on. Inside the rooms were humans sleeping in cryochambers. Each chamber was a name. Unit 4, Kane, Close Combat Specialist Unit. 5, Myra, Infiltration and Stealth Unit. 6, Dax, Heavy Weapons, Anti-Armor owned by 1. Their eyes opened. Back in space, the Galactic Council laughed. Their screens showed Earth as quiet, untouched. The criminals are settling in, one alien said. They'll wipe out the primitive natives soon. Another added. But one screen flashed red. A message came from Earth, encoded in a format that hadn't been used in 50 years. It read, Unauthorized landings detected. Planet under lockdown. Earth is not your trash bin. The council stared at the message in silence. Then, another message followed. They won't leave. But we will send them back, one piece at a time. Back on Earth, Crag limped through the snow. Blood leaked from his wound. He reached a cave and collapsed. As he sat breathing hard, a voice echoed from the shadows. You bleed. Crag looked. Up fast, claws ready. A human stepped from the dark. No armor. Just cold eyes. You think this is your world now? The man said quietly. Crag laughed. It will be. The man smiled, then pulled a knife and vanished into the dark. Crag screamed. But the forest stayed silent. Asterisk. The village was quiet. Too quiet. Voltuk, the four-eyed alien warlord, stood among the ruins of what used to be a small human settlement. Smoke rose from the homes. His claws were stained with blood. The screams had stopped 10 minutes ago. He looked up at the sky, expecting silence. Instead, he heard a sound. Click. He turned quickly. Nothing. He growled and stepped toward the village center. Then, another sound, soft, almost like breathing. Click. Click. Show yourself. Voltuk shouted, but no one answered. Only the wind moved. Suddenly, one of his lieutenants, a reptilian soldier, dropped to the ground. His chest was open clean, precise. No sound. No scream. Voltuk's eyes widened. He wasn't alone. Elsewhere, in a jungle deep in Central Africa, another criminal named Brack moved with confidence. He had already killed a group of humans that tried to stop him with rifles. Their bullets couldn't pierce his armored skin. This world is weak. He laughed, but his laugh didn't last long. Something hit him in the back. Hard. He flew forward and crashed through 2 trees. When he looked up, he saw it. A human figure, not bulky, not tall, but something about it felt wrong. The human was still. Then he moved fast. Too fast. Before Brack could stand, the human closed the distance and drove a metal spike into his shoulder. Brack roared, but then he noticed his body wasn't healing. His strength was fading. He looked at the weapon coated in something unknown. It burned him from the inside. Back at the council chamber, alarms started flashing. A live feed had come in-hacked into their private network. They opened the file. It was footage of Voltuk screaming in pain, crawling on the ground, trying to escape something unseen. Then the screen went black. A message appeared. You left your trash on our world. Cleanup has begun. The council members stood frozen. In Alaska, Leo sat beside his fire. His hands were still shaking. He had killed a creature, not human, not animal. It had tried to break into his cabin. He shot it once, and again, and it didn't go down until something else finished it. Something human-shaped, but not human. He didn't see its face. Just glowing eyes and a whisper. Stay inside. They're not here for you. Leo didn't ask questions. He locked every door and loaded every shell in a military bunker near Norway. 3 Earthguard soldiers stood before a giant screen. Maps lit up showing every pod crash. Dozens of red dots. The AI voice filled the room. 17 alien contacts terminated. 5 captured. Earth remained secure. One of the soldiers, Unit 4, Kane, cracked his knuckles. We're just warming up, he said. His partner, Mira, checked her stealth armor. What happens when they send more? The AI answered coldly. They won't. They're already afraid. But far out in space, fear had already started. A council scout ship, orbiting far from Earth, received a distress signal from one of the exiled criminals. It was short, filled with static, but 2 words were clear. Help. Death world. And then silence. The signal ended with static and a human voice whispering one sentence. "This is our world. You made your choice." The scout captain turned pale. He turned to his crew and said, "We must leave. Now." They began to move, but it was too late. From behind Earth's moon, something moved. A black object. No lights. No signal. It fired once. Scout ship exploded into dust. No one made it back. Back on Earth, deep in a hidden valley, a criminal warlord named Gorth tried to build a fortress. He had found old human metal, broken machines, and some frightened locals. He forced them to work. But when he woke the next morning, his guards were gone. He searched the area and found a message written in human blood. Wrong planet. Then, without warning, one of the captured humans stood up smiling and pulled the pin on a grenade. The criminals thought they were the monsters. But now, they were being hunted. Not by governments, not by armies, but by something older, stronger. Human. Deathworlders. The forgotten ones. Made for war. Trained in silence. Now awakened again. Asterisk deep under the Rocky Mountains. A steel door opened after 32 years. Dust fell from old concrete. Lights flickered on one by one, reeling a long, cold hallway. Inside that hidden base, sealed from the world, Earth's last secret defense finally came alive. They called it Project Revenant. The forgotten files had one purpose: activate only if Earth is invaded. 6 cryo chambers lined the main room. Inside each pod lay a sleeping human modified, hardened, trained for the worst-case scenario. Their minds were sharp weapons. Their bodies enhanced with old, band tech. They weren't heroes. They were weapons. One pod opened with a hiss. The man inside took a deep breath. His name was Rugged. He stepped out, eyes glowing faintly blue from neural implants. Scars covered his back. His first words were not a question, but a command. Status update. The AI voice answered. 23 alien threats landed. Earth response delayed. Civilian casualties, 4,091. Remaining threat level, high. More pods opened. One by one, the revenants returned. In the sky over Mongolia, an alien dropship flew low, carrying 3 escaped criminals. They had regrouped after losing contact with others. The leader, a beast-like creature named Lawless, shouted. To the others, "We regroup, we strike back, and we make this planet our own." But then, the lights inside the dropship turned red. A voice came from the ship's systems, not alien, but human. "Your flight is canceled." Before they could react, the ship exploded in mid-air. No missile was seen, no heat trail. Only silence. Far away, hidden in a mountain peak, a revenant sniper powered down her rail cannon. Her name was Vera. She whispered into her mic. Target removed. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council received one final emergency signal from a prisoner. Short, terrified, and glitching, they played the message. A deep voice said, "They found us. They're not military. They single quotes wrong, like ghosts in armor. Shadows that bleed steel." The council's room fell silent. They had misjudged Earth. Back in the forests of Alaska, Leo watched as black helicopters flew overhead, silent, fast, and marked with no country's flag. He stayed hidden in his cabin, but the forest trembled. Again, war pods had landed last night. 3 alien war criminals began walking toward the nearest small town, planning to take control, but they never made it. A revenant squad dropped from the sky, 6 figures, no words. Only action. The aliens fought back, firing plasma rifles and roaring in rage, but the humans were faster. One leaped 20 feet through the air and shattered an alien's skull with a metal fist. Another walked through fire like it was air, pulling enemies from the smoke within human strength. It was not a battle. It was a warning. Later that night, Rogan stood in a field full of ashes. One alien survived. wounded, broken, crying. Rogan kneeled beside it. "You were sent here to destroy us," he said softly. The alien nodded weakly. "We were told this planet was defenseless." Rogan looked toward the stars. "Earth has never been defenseless," he replied. He stood and left the creature alive, but made sure it could never fight again. In South America, a group of alien criminals took over an abandoned human lab, thinking. It was empty. They found strange machines, human tech mixed with alien designs. They tried to hack it, but the moment they powered it on, the doors locked. The walls sealed. Gas filled the room. Screen turned on showing a human child's face smiling, and it changed. Skull, flames. And the words, "Unauthorized access." Erase. They were never seen again. Earth was no longer reacting. Now, it was hunting. Every alien movement was tracked. Every signal jammed. Human drones that looked like birds, rats, insects followed them, marked them, and led revenant units straight to them. One alien tried to escape in a stolen vehicle. He didn't make it 5 miles. A human motorcycle raced behind him. No lights, no sound. The rider wore black armor with a blood-red visor. He caught up, jumped onto the alien's vehicle, and ended it without a word. In the council, panic spread. How did they build this force without our knowledge? They had no seat at our table, no. Space presence. One elder stood. They had something else, he said. What? He answered. A reason. And far beneath the earth, the revenant AI whispered its old directive, line by line. Observe. Wait. Strike only when Earth is touched. By outside hands. We are not soldiers. We are revenge. Night fell over the African savanna. A burning alien ship lay tilted in the tall grass. Smoke rose into the dark sky. Nearby, the last 5 criminals of the Razor Claw Syndicate moved silently through the field, their weapons ready, nerves tight. They had received no signals in hours. Their commanders were gone. Their escape pods had been tracked and destroyed one by one. Something was hunting them. And it wasn't military. It was something worse. The group's leader, a 7-foot horned alien named Vrox, raised his hand to halt. The others. Silence. He whispered. He could feel it. They were being watched. Suddenly, the grass rustled. All 5 turned at once. Nothing. Then again, from the opposite direction, they fired blindly, burning the grass with plasma bolts. Still. Nothing. Vrox growled and spoke into his comms. Anyone left? This is Vrox. Respond. Only static replied. Then a voice. Calm. Human. You're already surrounded. They spun in every direction. No figures in sight. Then, from above, something dropped silently. A human in sleek black armor landed behind one of the aliens and drove a blade into its neck clean. Fast, silent. By the time the others turned, 2 more humans were already there, one with glowing red eyes, another holding a heavy cannon with no recoil. The aliens opened fire. It didn't matter. Within 60 seconds, all but Vrox were on the ground, bleeding, broken, or gone. Vrox dropped his weapon and raised both hands. I surrender. The human with red eyes walked forward. Face unseen. No, you don't, he said coldly. You invaded. Vrox dropped to his knees. I was sent. I didn't choose Earth. I didn't know. The human nodded. Exactly. And fired once. Across the planet, the same story repeated. In Siberia, a frozen cave echoed with screams as Revenant Myra hunted 2 criminals through snow tunnels. She used no gun, just knives and silence. When they tried to hide, she whispered in their ear before striking. In the deep Amazon, Revenant Dax waded through jungle swamps where heat sensors failed and alien tech jammed. He didn't use sensors. He used smell, sound, instinct. The alien hiding in the tree thought he was safe until Dax pulled him down with one hand and ended him in 2 seconds. In the skies over Europe, a stolen alien transport tried to escape with a wounded criminal inside, but Earth had already reactivated Interceptor 9 and AI-guided. Human fighter jet once thought lost. It didn't give warnings. It didn't miss. The sky lit up as the alien ship burst into flame mid-air. Only wreckage touched the ground. The Council now watched silently. Their war room was filled with intercepted Earth transmissions, coded in old Earth languages, sometimes even in whispers. But one message kept repeating. In their feeds, Earth is not your battlefield. It is your burial ground. Panic spread across galactic space. Smugglers refused Earth missions. Slavers erased it from nav-charts. Not even pirate warlords canceled all routes near Sol. On Earth, deep beneath the Mojave Desert, Rogan and his team stood before a wall of holograms. Enemy. Locations blinked red. 36 remaining targets, the AI said. All scattered. All running. Mira asked, should we let them go? Let the fear spread? But Rogan shook his head. No, he said. They're not afraid enough yet. In the ruins of a city near Eastern Europe, 4 criminals tried to blend with human refugees. They thought if they looked weak, they'd survive. One even covered himself in dirt, pretending to be injured. But a human child walked by and whispered, "You're not like us." He pointed to a rooftop. All 4 looked up. 3 revenants stood watching, guns ready. No mercy. They didn't run. There was no point. Later that night, in the Arctic, one final alien alone and starving built a small fire and cried. He sent a signal to the Council. This planet is not weak. It breeds predators. We were the test subjects. They are the experiment. He paused. And added softly, don't come here. Please, don't ever come here. The message never reached its destination. In orbit, Earth's old satellites had become something new, shielded, smart, silent. Every signal was now filtered. Every attempt to spy erased. Earth didn't just fight back. Earth learned faster than any species the galaxy had known. The revenants gathered again. Kane looked at Rogan. Mission near done. Rogan nodded. They'll remember this. And Vera, always calm, smiled slightly. If they survive. The Council chamber was no longer calm. It used to be a place of order-tall marble walls, endless data streams, wise voices of 1,000 systems. Now, those voices screamed over each other. Cut the signal. Bring back the survivors. Who authorized this? One elder pounded the table with a metal fist. They were criminals. We sent them to rot. Why is Earth fighting like a military empire? No one answered. Because no one knew. On a giant screen at the center of the chamber, Earth's blue-green shape glowed. Around it, their recon fleet had vanished. 27 scout ships. Gone. 40-8 listening probes. Disabled. All attempts to re-establish contact with the prisoners had ended the same way. Static. Or silence. And worse, the last 5 messages had all ended with the same phrase. Not from Earth's leaders, not from soldiers, but from someone, something hiding deep inside their systems. Your error has been noted. The panic turned to fear. Council diplomat from the Kryloth species stood and hissed. I warned you. Earth is not what we thought. They had no fleet. Shouted another. They have one now, replied the Kryloth. A silent screen blinked behind them. Video footage leaked by a spy probe just before it vanished. One human warship, massive, matte black, rising from an ocean trench. Unmarked. No known signature. No engine noise. And then it vanished. Cloaked. Panic turned into arguments. They were supposed to die. We underestimated them. They are Deathworlders. We should have known. A smaller species, with shaking tentacles, whispered, "I." Heard they breed inside volcanoes. Another answered, "No, they train their children in deserts, using knives." No one laughed. Across the chamber, one elder, older than all others, leaned forward slowly. "Do you know what's most dangerous about Earth?" He asked softly. The room went quiet. He lifted one finger. "They don't announce, they respond." He lifted another. "They don't demand, they deliver." Then he stared straight at the Earth projection. And now they've gone silent. A vote was proposed. Recover the surviving criminals. Send a peace envoy. The vote failed. No one volunteered. Every diplomat, every fleet captain, every ambassador said the same thing. "We are not going near that planet." One captain added, "Even the machines there have teeth." Outside the chamber, whispers spread across the stars. Smugglers erased Earth from star maps. Slavers closed warp routes that passed nearby. Merchants started charging triple for anything heading even near. Sol. One pirate fleet received a signal from an unknown Earth. Satellite. 3 words only. Turn around now. They did. And then Earth sent one message. Only once. No intro. No anthem. No flag. Just a screen showing a revenant soldier walking past alien corpses. One hand on his weapon. He looked at the camera, helmet off, scars visible. He spoke 3 words. "Do not return." Then the screen went black. Nothing more. Back in. The bunker beneath Colorado, the AI monitored the message. Rogan watched silently. Vera crossed her arms. "You think they'll listen?" Rogan didn't blink. "They always listen after they bleed." The AI spoke. "Criminal contacts. 3 remaining. 1 in the ocean. 2 underground. Cleanup initiated." The team nodded. At the same time, deep in space, the council secretly met without broadcasting. "This is no longer about criminals," one said. "It's about control." Another nodded. "They have no council seat, no treaty signatures, and no galactic obedience. Yet they act like apex predators." A pause. Then a voice whispered, "What if they always were?" Back on Earth, in a forgotten mountain cave, the last alien survivor scribbled warnings on the wall with blood. He'd gone mad. He wrote in broken, galactic script. "They don't sleep. They see in dark. They smile when they bleed. Earth is alive. Earth remembers." His fingers trembled as he carved one last line. They were never the prison. They were the warden. The revenants stood ready. Mission almost complete. But something deeper was happening. Earth wasn't just cleaning house. It was watching. Learning. And deciding what to do next. Asterisk. The sky over Earth was quiet again. No more falling pods. No strange ships. No fire streaking through clouds. The final 3 alien criminals were already marked. One swam deep in the cold black of the Pacific Ocean, hiding near a volcano. Another crawled through ancient caves beneath South America, whispering to ghosts. The last had dug a hole in a frozen mountain, too afraid to move. But none of them would escape. Above the clouds, Sentinel-9 watched it all. The old AI had evolved. Once. It was just a forgotten satellite. Now, it was the eye of Earth. Every heat signature, every transmission, every heartbeat across the globe. It saw them all. Locked onto the final alien under the ocean trench. Command confirmed. A weapon fell silently from orbit. No explosion. No flame. Just pressure. Enough to crush steel. One life ended. In the dark. Caves. The second criminal found something strange, symbols carved into stone. Old Earth language. One word repeated again and again. Observe. He backed away only to fall through the floor. Below him. The revenants waited. In the frozen north. The last alien had stopped breathing. Not dead, just silent, like a predator. Eyes open. weapon ready, but he never saw the figure standing right behind him. Not until the whisper came, "Wrong planet." Earth was clean. The monsters sent from the stars were gone, but the galaxy was not Dot, so Earth sent one final message. Dot, it was. Sent not through diplomatic channels, but through the very same satellites the Council had tried to hide inside Earth's orbit. They were now controlled by Earth. Dot, the message played across star systems, across warships, across every planet connected to the galactic net. Dot, no password, no protection. Dot, just the truth. A black screen faded into view. Dot, then Rogan appeared, scarred, calm, armored in black. He stood in front of a burned alien war banner. Dot, no emotion, no hate. Dot, just truth. He spoke slowly, clearly. You sent them here because you thought we were weak. You thought Earth was alone, soft, forgotten. He stepped forward. Dot, behind him, other revenants stood silently. You were wrong. They... Camera zoomed out, slowly revealing the wreckage of alien pods, burned flags, and massive warships being rebuilt by humans. This is Earth. This is our world. And we are not your dumping ground. He held up a piece of alien armor. We are not your prison. He dropped it. We are the punishment. The screen faded to black. Dot, then one final line appeared. Do not return. The message rippled across the galaxy like a storm. Dot, in the council chamber. Silence returned this. Time from fear, not order. The Kryloth ambassador dropped his datapad. His hands were shaking. Dot, another whispered. If they are capable of this without a fleet, what else are they hiding? The elder who once warned them spoke again. No one rules Earth, he said. And that's what terrifies me. Back on Earth, the revenants returned to their chambers. One by one, they stepped back into CRYO-pods. Dot, frozen. Dot, waiting. Dot, until the next mistake. And Sentinel-9? It stayed awake, watching the stars, listening, always listening. A month later, a merchant ship drifted too close to Earth space. The pilot received a signal. Dot, it wasn't aggressive, just 6 words. You are entering observed territory. Keep moving. Ship turned. Immediately. Dot, across the stars, stories spread like wildfire. They weren't myths. They were warnings. Never land on Earth. Never wake the old ones. Never test the death world. And finally, the galaxy thought. Earth was quiet. But silence is what comes right before the roar. The end. Asterisk.